Sheri Krotzer, and I am the field agent for Students for Life of America covering the Midwest. And I'm going to talk to you today about how to advertise on your campus. Now, first of all, you want to make sure that when you do your advertising, you keep every advertisement you use, whether it's a poster, whether it's an online advertisement, anything that you use, make sure it is clear, concise, and uncluttered. And when you do that, here's a good example of a flyer that you could use. Flyers are very easy to make and they're very cheap. So it's definitely a good way to advertise for your group. And some things to keep in mind when you're using flyers is when you go on campus, look around, pay attention to what catches your eye when you're walking around campus. And generally speaking, that will catch other people's eyes as well, because bulletin boards on campus, it's a good spot to put things, but lots of times they blend in. If they're all white, they're all the same color, same fonts, same ideas, you want to make sure yours stands out a bit more than the others. That way you can draw more people in. So when you're doing this, make sure that you have, if you're holding an event, put on a catchy title, put on something that will spark somebody's interest, make them wonder, well, what could this be? What could it be about? Which will draw them into your event more than just reading it on the paper. It'll make them want to write it down. Another thing that you can do that makes it easier for college students, since most times they're in a hurry, they may not have a pen on them, they may not have something to jot down your event, the time, the place, whatever. You can have little tabs sticking out and they can tear it off. They can have the place, the location, the time, date, everything like that. And it'll be much easier. They can stick it in their planner, in their folder, and be on their way. Some other ideas that you can consider are taking out advertisements in your local newspaper. Generally speaking, they're pretty affordable if your newspaper offers them, no more than like $10 to $20. You can look into that, find your local advertising group at your newspaper, and take that into consideration. Another thing that you can do is go to your community newspaper and do that same thing. It may be a little bit more costly, but it reaches a wider variety and reaches more out into the community and could bring in more students. Some other things that you can do for advertising are if you can collaborate with another group, a local Right to Life group, or even some other campus pro-life groups, you can pull out a bulletin board, or a billboard, and they definitely are quite a bit more costly, but they definitely draw more attention and could be quite a bit worth it. And finally, when you are advertising, make sure that you know your audience, you know who you're trying to reach out to. So if you're trying to reach women, make it more for women. If you're trying to reach out to men, do the same. And another thing you can do when you're targeting your audience, collaborate with other groups on campus. If you are holding a more political pro-life event, call up the other political groups on campus and see if they'd like to co-sponsor or inform their members. Or if it's like a spiritual adoption or a cemetery of the innocents, something that's more spiritually related, contact your other Christian groups on campus or religious groups and see if they'd be interested in informing their members or helping you to advertise more. So if you take these tips and just make sure that you realize who you're reaching, how you want to do it, and be bold and different. And another tip for bulletin boards, try to change up the colors, try to make it something that stands out. Like if it's all white, make it black. Do something that's different and unique, and you will definitely attract more people. And lastly, when you're doing online advertisements, if you're using Facebook or Twitter or any other social networking sites, make sure to do some kind of catchy title that's out of the ordinary once again, and try to have it something that will spark their attention and draw them in and make them want to click on your link and follow it and maybe even share it with others. And if you follow these tips, it should help you to get your group going and make your event even more successful.